Reason why Michigan is back in the postseason. Bonnie and her coaching staff made the changes that were necessary to improve this team at the plate. And they will step in here, Ellie Sealer, the left fielder, to face Schoonover. Two 2-0 to Ellie Sealer. Like the rest of this lineup, big improvements in April and May for the senior out of Monroe, Michigan. 10 of her 18 extra base hits coming in the last 6 weeks. And lines one right back up the middle, and Michigan will start out with a single. Stephanie Schoonover is your senior right-hander out of Dothan, Alabama. Coming back from a forearm injury last year, a nasty one. And back out there in the circle, Smitty, at 18-9.
Now batting.
Yeah, she'll strike out about a batter an inning, but really the key, Beth and Jess, is the free passes, 102 walks, hit batters, 134 free passes on the year. That's really what she has to limit. Those opponents earn their way on base.
Indiana Langford thinking about a sacrifice here.
She is primarily short game. 80% ground ball rate. So right now just figuring out creative ways to move the runner. Looking to the bunt right now.
Drops it down, and the play over to first moves Sealer over. It looks like they had a shot at second base there for the lead runner, didn't take it.
Yeah, I was surprised they were a little more aggressive on that. You can see the defensive corners coming in. That's a hard bunt. Right over to Lawrence. I'm surprised she didn't go over. Tobias was at second base, so they were in good position to be able to make those plays.
So the sacrifice moves Sealer into scoring position here for Maddie Erickson. A string of 3 straight right-handers coming up. Maddie, the senior out of Wilsonville, Oregon. 357 hitter with some power. Chance here in the first for the Wolverines to get on. Maddie out in front, 25 hits in her last 23 games. Bonnie Thole guiding Michigan to a really strong finish. And they are back on top in the Big Ten, winning the tournament championship. Their starting pitcher today, Lauren Durkowski, threw every pitch for them. We'll see her coming up. Ground ball to short. Erin Koffel's got it, unable to move the runner, 2 down. Well, for 38 years and over 1,700 wins, the Hall of Famer Carol Hutchins was coaching Michigan from 1985 to 2022.
She's going to get the steps in down that right field line. She's got the coach's pace going on.
I thought it was really cool, though, talking to Bonnie this week. You know, not only did they do a major debrief and a self-scout after last year, but also they talked with a lot of their friends in the industry. They went and visited with other coaches to see, you know, how other programs did things, what they might pick up, what they, you know, might want to consider trying in the offseason to get better. Never stop looking for ways to improve. Foul ball coming back at us.
Well, and to your point, Beth, I love that. They look inward instead of pointing fingers outward. You know, oh, the kids didn't perform this, that, or whatever. Made some internal changes.
And this is Bonnie's niece, Kiki, at the bat. And you see the step forward over one more run per game. And as you referenced, Jess, big slug and home run bump.
Big change to their anti-rotational movement. That was what Bonnie Toll talked about. Really trying to get back to some of the mechanics instead of just telling them what they were doing wrong, give them things to do it right.
That gets away from Carissa Hamilton, and Sealer moves over to third. So big chance here for Thole, who's a .328 hitter this season with runners in scoring position and a 3-2 count.
See right there, the hip movement that Kiki's doing is she's out in front of everything, and that was the ground out even with Maddie Erickson, as they're a little bit out in front of what Schoonover is throwing. Starting to fly open those hips a little bit too soon.
Draws the walk. 2 on with 2 outs. One of the things we'll keep an eye on, you sort of touched on it, you know, the velocity of the pitchers in the Big Ten tends to be lower than what it is in the SEC, the top-rated RPI conference in the country. So, you know, with their training and their preparation this week, would they be able to hang with the heat from Kentucky?
Schoonover is in the high 60s.
This is Ella Stevenson in the 5 spot, hitting .371 in the last month, so almost 100 points better than her average for the whole season.
Well, they've needed her bat too because of who she's behind, and it's a win if you can get through Erickson, get through Toll, which they have. They got a ground out and even the walk I like to Kiki, but right now it's been about this part of the lineup, and it starts with Ella Stevenson, the freshman.
Swing and a miss upstairs, 1 and 2.
Well, and that's always got to be the theme, is that you can't let the best hitter on the team beat you, especially early in the game. And you've got to make other people, especially the freshmen, prove themselves. First postseason, can you chase them? Schoonover has a tendency to throw a lot of pitches in her appearances.
How about the most of any pitcher in the country? 11th most, excuse me. And she gets the strikeout there to end the threat as Riley Smith steps in on the left side. Can the Kentucky order make some noise, or can Durkowski keep them quiet? Their offense over the last 8 games, just 2 runs per game, only averaging 6 hits per game. They're 1 and 7 in those last 8 games coming into the postseason, so they are looking for a fresh start.
Well, and they start, I mean, their lineup's got 4 seniors, 1 through 4, and when you're talking about last games of your career, a lot of that rides on right here, the leadoff, Riley Smith. Rachel Lawson told us they go like she goes. They need her to be loose and really lead this way offensively.
She's been the bright spot in the lineup down the stretch, batting close to 400 over her last 12 games. And now playing in her 229th career game for the 5th year. 1-2 from Durkowski. Gets the swing and miss, 1 down.
Durkowski shown with that velocity, working that outer half of the zone. She's got some up, she's got some out on that rise ball. She likes to use that screwball as well. 18% of the time, rise ball about 26% of the time.
Here is the matchup with Koffel. Takes a look at a strike, 1-1.
Koppel doesn't see a lot of those. Most teams, this is the hitter they pitch around. She doesn't see a whole lot of strikes, and I'll tell you what, she's 75% taking first pitch strike, and she did right there, a good one to hit.
At 46 walks, 15 times hit by a pitch. She gets on base quite a bit. Can the other Cats get her home? Nice changeup at the knees. 2-2.
It's going to be a big pitch for Drukowski. She does throw it about 21% of the time.
It's her biggest whiff pitch, 32% whiff on the changeup. That and her rise ball are kind of the two go-tos for strikeouts.
Yeah, so she gets people chasing, and there's a good look at really how she does expand the zone with that curveball, rise ball. Those are her two best pitches. But the changeup, when you're throwing that over 20% of the time, it's a great setup pitch for your hard stuff.
Koppel wanted nothing to do with it. I mean, that changeup didn't have a whole lot of bend, Smitty. It was right down the middle, and Koppel did not even bite. I wonder if they go back to it.
2-2 pitch. Fights another one off. Out of Bremen, Indiana. School's leader in home runs, runs batted in, slugging percentage, on-base percentage.
Wow.
Got her. 2 down.
This is huge, and honestly, probably the most strikes that Erin Koppel has seen in a bat in months. And they went away, they went in, they went change up. This one right on the inside part of the plate, could not ask for a better position. You could tell Koppel was looking middle away, not expecting that inside pitch.
Just her 12th strikeout of the season for Koppel. And here's Vanessa Nesby. Senior out of Corona, California. Good start for Drukowski.
Yes.
She's getting ahead here, 0-2.
73 walks on the season, but really the key when you're controlling the zone, look at those, just 3 balls on the inning over 14 pitches. That's really how you can set up each at bat.
How about the tone she's setting by going right after Erin Koppel? I mean, that strikeout sets a huge tone to the rest of this Kentucky team. I mean, that's their hitter. And she went right after, attacked her with consecutive strikes.
Coach Thal talked about the fact that, she's a great leader, but she's also one of the most competitive kids on the team. And when you have a competitive pitcher, I mean, that really is what makes your team go.
She wants to face the big hitters.
And she starts out by striking out the side here in the bottom of the first. Championship now is 9 years ago, Florida in 2015.
Now batting for Michigan.
And here is Kentucky, one of the 13 facing Michigan, and Janisa Conway, the freshman. Had a couple on base, and a runner in scoring position in the first, couldn't get her home. And now it's 6, 7, 8 in the order.
Schoonover is getting almost that screwball that's off the plate called to these lefties. They're gonna have to get on the plate because that's a little bit off the plate. See, she continues to go back there. We've seen these lefties actually within the at-bat start to scoot more and more on the plate.
3-1. Conway's got some power. The 9 home runs this season. She strikes out a lot. She walks a lot. 35 plus in both those categories. And draws the walk there. Second one allowed by Schoonover. And now the leadoff aboard for the second inning in a row for Rachel Lawson. Now in her 17th season, the winningest coach in Kentucky history. 15th time for the Cats to the NCAA tournament. 8 times they have won the regional to advance to the Supers, highlighted by that 2014 trip to the World Series a decade ago. She's also spending some time with U.S. national teams as one of the assistant coaches this summer. And it's 12 straight years with the same 2 assistant coaches. Stolen base here for Michigan.
Might go down as almost a pass ball just because the catcher dropped it, but it was a great read by Janisa. As soon as she saw Hamilton drop the ball, she was off. That's a ball that definitely should be caught.
No word yet from the official score, and now it comes in a passed ball. So an RBI opportunity now for Lily Valamont. 228 on the season, 31 RBI. Redshirt freshman out of Trenton, Michigan. Schoonover misses up top. Trickler down the first baseline, and it inches foul.
I like the mindset there from Lily Valamont. You could tell she's just trying to hit something to the right side and was short in her swing with 2 strikes. Almost a right-handed slap, just getting like 50–60%.
It's interesting how she starts with her hands low and actually almost brings them up.
Little hitch in the swing.
Tell Schoonover's been trying to work her up and in a little bit on some of those pitches. Goes away with the curve.
And another 3-ball count. She's inching close to 40 here through the first couple of innings. Has already walked a couple.
There it is, going back to that rise ball, that pitch up and in, seeing her hands drop a little bit, trying to get her to get underneath of it, pop it up.
Heck of an at-bat. I mean, this is your 7-hitter down here at the bottom of the lineup, and the averages kind of drop down around that 200, and she's just battling off 11 pitches. 11th pitch coming. In, out, we've seen up.
Another 3-2. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Schoonover, 1 down.
Schoonover goes right back at her hands, trying to tack her on the inner half, screwball, and gets the frame with Hamilton.
Now batting the designated player, number 24, Ava Costales.
That'll bring up the DP in the lineup, Ava Costales. Just 1 hit in her last 17 at-bats. She and Avery Fantucci have kind of gone back and forth in that DP spot, second half of the season.
And the reason they like Ava, because they're both very different. Ava's known more for the power. She's got that pure power, 6 home runs on the season. Doesn't connect a ton, but when she does, it goes a long way.
days off, 2-1.
That's going to be a big pitch against a lot of these Michigan righties. And almost screwball that keeps kind of coming in on the hands. Umpire's calling that pitch too on that corner to off the plate, so they know they got to protect.
Tried it again, a little low, bounces out of the glove of Hamilton. And for the second inning in a row, Michigan has a runner at third base.
It's just great reacts by Conway seeing that ball. As soon as it is leaving the glove of Hamilton, she is on her way to third. Another pass ball.
Now brings in the infield too.
And Costales sends one out to left to drive in the run. RBI single for Ava after Conway moved around the bases with a walk and 2 pass balls.
It was great base running for Conway to get into position, the reads that she got. And this is a bat from Ava Costales off the end of the bat, so she's got 2 strikes, just battling here. A pitch away, pokes it through. Not hit very hard, it's all you need. I'll tell you what, as a hitter, when you see that runner get to third and the infield come in, you're like, that's all I gotta do.
Nothing Michigan here in the second. First game of our Stillwater Regional double elimination format here over the next 3 days. Opening weekend of the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma State and Northern Colorado, the other 2 teams here. One of the 4 will advance to the Super Regionals. And the Michigan Wolverines have been good with an early lead.
Ella McVeigh is a really clutch hitter in this 9-hole. It was big for them in the Big Ten tourney, hitting 500 with 2 runs. Good bat-to-ball skills, only 4 strikeouts in her last 64 plate appearances.
Junior out of Des Moines, Iowa, and Dowling Catholic High School.
Who else went there? No big names.
I wonder.
Maybe some basketball players.
Fouls one off. It would be none other than Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever. There they are playing hoops together.
So cool.
That's awesome.
Dowling Maroons. You can see Caitlin, by the way, and the Fever tomorrow on ABC against Brianna Stewart in the New York Liberty. Here's a 3-2 pitch. A third free pass. And that'll swing it back around to the top of the order.
Here in the second overall in the game, coming around to score.
So dependent on the corners too. I mean, that's what I'm seeing is that horizontal movement for her. Is she doesn't get calls, especially on the arm side. She has a hard time coming anywhere over the plate.
Yeah, and losing a lot of them low. A lot of balls in the dirt. Seeing some pass balls, wild pitches.
Ellie Sealer singled her first time up. They do not pinch run for Costales, so she stays in the game. She's the runner at second with McVeigh at first. Sealer hits .316 with runners in scoring position on the season. And it's going to be back-to-back innings now, guys, with 20-plus pitches for Schoonover.
Well, on that last pitch, another perfect example. Screwball. It's got some good movement, but she's just losing it through the zone low.
Sealer. Opposite way, Riley Smith looks like she's got room, makes the catch. Runners cannot tag, 2 down. One productive out for the Wolverines. And it's Indiana Langford. Dropped down a sacrifice in the first.
Got the Indiana Jones music rocking as the walk up. I like it.
I always thought
Didn't
that
know
was
the kids
interesting.
knew those
Yeah,
anymore.
Exactly.
Way behind on that swing. Oh, and 2. They left 2 on base in the first. They've gotten 1 home here, and now 2 more on base in the second.
Yeah, this is the hitter that Schoonover absolutely has to go after, because you do not want to see Erickson and Thole, 2 of the biggest hitters in this lineup, on deck in the hole. This is a short game player, so she's not going to beat you with an extra base hit.
She is their best hitter this year with 2 outs. Schoonover at 66 miles an hour. You can see she's just trying to almost steer it through the 5-6 hole. Opening day of the NCAA championships. Already one upset, if you will. Southern Illinois, a winner over the Cal Bears. Maddie Groff, that outstanding freshman, gets the win for the Salukis. That's in the Baton Rouge Regional. The Florida Gators stay hot. They won their first game down in Gainesville, 6-0 over Florida Gulf Coast. SEC picked up another win when South Carolina beat Utah earlier today. Action all day long on the ESPN networks. 153 games in 21 days. And all of them are available streaming on ESPN Plus. So you can always find your team.
Schoonover's pitch count up at 65 pitches through just the top of the second.
2-2.
.41 pitches in this inning alone.
She is their ace. They do have 3 other arms that they can turn to. Of course, the goal here is stay in the winner's bracket. If you can do that, you only have to win 1 game a day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
This is where I'm wondering where the off-speed, where the changeup is, after the biggest pitch that Langford strikes out on. There it is.
Off the end of the bat, it's a foot race, and a nice play at third by Grace Lorsung to get the out. 2 more left on. Champion for the 42nd time. Will it be Oklahoma for the 4th year in a row? Nobody's ever done that. UCLA had a 3-peat back in the late 80s, early 90s, and then in the mid-90s, Arizona won 4 of 5. Sooners are the 2 seed behind Texas. And we are here in Stillwater, where Oklahoma State is the 5 seed. A big year for the Big 12. Can they finish it off with another national championship? For the Pokes and the Longhorns, they are both interested in winning their first ever titles. We've got Oklahoma State coming up here next against the Bears of Northern Colorado. Winners of the Big Sky.
Excited to see them, 2nd year in a row. They went to Washington last year, and pretty much their whole lineup with that postseason experience. It's fun to be the underdog.
4, 5, and 6 coming up here for Kentucky.
Nice pitch.
After Lauren Durkowski struck out the side to open up the game.
She's showing she's got a lot of different tools to use. Rise ball, curveball, backdoor, screw.
The changeup.
Changeup, which nasty in the low 50s.
That was a long 2.5 innings, Smitty, that she sat and watched almost 50 pitches from the opposition. So what are you doing in there to not get in your own head, which we know pitchers, that's a,
do you really
that's a
wanna
tall
get in there?
task. You don't want to see all that.
No.
Always in our own heads. You know, a lot of times it's just paying attention to your teammates, see what they're doing, try not to overanalyze yourself too much.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence, too, that she walks the first batter sitting for that long.
First free pass. Hey, what's going on around the rest of the country? Well, a lot of talk about Miami of Ohio and all their home run hitters, and what a job by Virginia to blank. They put the O in Ohio. Most runs scored by UVA in an NCAA tournament game. Florida, they continue to stay hot. They're going to be a tough out. They win their opener against Gulf Coast. And then Southern Illinois is a team to watch. One of those sleepers, the mid-major, getting a Power 5 win over the Cal Bears and a former national champion. Log on to the ESPN app. We got our whole scoreboard there. You can jump around, of course, and stream all the games on ESPN Plus. As Kentucky and Allie Hutchins executes the sacrifice, gets Lorsong over to second. Actually, that's the pinch runner that's on. Emory Donaldson.
Now batting the right
One out
fielder,
for Peyton
number
Plotz, the
37,
freshman,
Peyton Plotz.
playing for her hometown team. Gets the start in right field today. Winner of this one comes back to play the first game tomorrow at noon local time, noon central. The loser will fall into the loser's bracket. Will have to win twice tomorrow and twice Sunday to advance. Laced out to left and off the wall, over the head of Sealer, and a run's gonna score, and the Cats even it up. A walk, a sacrifice, and then Plotz with the double.
Peyton Plotz, the Froshy, doing a nice job. And this, you guys, this is like a 60% swing. Watch her just get to this rise ball. This is why you swing at pitches up in the zone, why you chase them so much, because when you connect high velocity up in the zone, it goes a long way. That wasn't even a full swing, you guys, and she hit it off the wall.
Yeah, that was a big miss, too. That's a 2-strike, 0-2 pitch.
I mean, look at just the contact. I mean, you'll see the runner come around easily and score. Nice read off of the wall, but look at the swing. I mean, she stops after it literally just gets to contact, and that's how far it went. A lot of pop from the freshman.
The catcher, number 2, Carissa Hamilton.
That evens it at one apiece. Carissa Hamilton stepping up. Another pinch runner getting some speed out there. The go-ahead run at second base, Jenna Blanton.
Durkowski, after mowing down the side in that first inning, leadoff walk, comes back to bite her, gives up a 0-2 big-time mistake to the freshman.
Gets ahead again, 0-2 on Hamilton. Way out in front for the strikeout. 2 down. That's the 4th already for Durkowski.
Durkowski continuing to go to that changeup. It's been extremely effective. It's been great as a setup pitch and also great as a chase pitch. When you look at her analytics, a lot of her strikeouts are up in the zone, but she also chases you down in the zone, and that's because of that really good changeup.
.088 are the batting average against on the changeup. Not a whole lot coming. I'm surprised she doesn't pitch it more, to be honest.
Yeah, only about 21% of the time. I'm surprised, yeah, she doesn't throw it more, like about 30% of the time. Use it as a good EV setup.
That's what we saw at the SEC tournament last week. That was the pitch of the tournament.
Yeah.
Those that threw changeups are the teams that won.
Here's Margaret Tobias in the 8th spot in the order. 284 on the season. Trying to pick up her 5th RBI of the year here. Rachel Lawson and the Cats trying to grab the lead here in the bottom of the 2nd. 2-2 from Durkowski. And I think she was out of the batter's box on contact, and she's called out. It was indeed great to be a Michigan Wolverine on that fateful night in 2005, the very first year that we switched to a championship series, best 2 out of 3. As Carol Hutchins, yeah, she looks like she's relaxed. Yeah, she's not nervous at all out there watching her former team. Enjoying her retirement. Ground ball to 3rd, 1 down. Oh, that home run from Sam Finley, yes. Still one of the iconic moments in the history of our sport. With Jessica Merchant at short. Jenny Ritter was in the circle that night. She's now one of us working for ESPN. She's calling the games down the road in Norman for the Oklahoma Regional, the Norman Regional with Roy Philpott.
Now batting the first baseman.
Again, you can find any game you need on ESPN Plus. They're all streaming live. And we've got a bunch of them spread out across the ESPN networks all weekend long. U2, Mothership, ACC Network, SEC Network, Longhorn Network. Here's Kiki Thole with 1 down. 2-0 pitch. She walked in the 1st, headed that way again here in the 3rd.
Seen her sneak back a little bit off that plate. Go for that inner half. The scoot over goes away. I always love the little cat and mouse of the pitcher, batter.
Gets the swing and miss and fights back to a full count.
Looks like an off-speed rise ball. Just kind of spun it up at Thole's eyes and got her to bite through it.
Is that a new pitch we've got to add to the repertoire as well? Thole gets under it, out to center. Vanessa Nesby fights off the sun, 2 down. Hey, we got Sunday Night Baseball coming your way. It's the Padres and the Braves at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Deportes and radio coverage begins at 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown for San Diego and Atlanta, our Sunday Night Baseball matchup.
Both in 2nd place in their divisions. Just want to remind you,
yes,
that might be Padres fans, that you're 7 games back of the Dodgers.
After the Padres took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, they turned right around and got swept at home by the Rockies.
I think
the
there's
Rockies
knives.
are really good, though.
There's some knives being thrown up here in the booth between a Padres and a Dodgers fan.
We got a no-hitter watch going on too, right?
Yeah,
The,
Paul Skeens against the
Cubs
Cubbies.
and the Pirates. Yeah. Up and out of the zone. Ella Stevenson struck out on a rise ball in the first. A couple of strikeouts for Schoonover, but she's also walked 3.
Yeah, she's completely changed her approach, though, in this inning, using her off-speed a little bit more, but her rise ball a little bit more north and south instead of the east and west with the screwball curveball she had been throwing the first couple innings, which really elevated her pitch count.
Rachel Lawson has given up the pitch calling duties this year with one exception, and it's this one, Schoonover. Stephanie still wanted to work with Rachel, but one of the changes that she decided to make this year with her staff, of course, around the country, coaches were able to add a 3rd assistant coach, which they did with Grace Ballman. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Schoonover as we head to the bottom of the 3rd.
With Devon Energy.
Very exciting.
Absolutely, very exciting for the city, for USA softball, for Devon Energy as well. Got to meet with a lot of their executives last week.
Hopefully the players as well.
Yeah. A lot of upgrades at some point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, coming to the facility.
Oh, like
Okay, now we're talking.
Like a green
Now
room for the
we're
announcers?
talking. Okay.
Like a lounge for the announcers?
I'm sure that's the priority.
It's got to be first. Always the highlight of our year. If you have never been, you got to get there. Lauren Borzolari in the 9 spot, then the top of the order coming up. Michigan a run in the top of the 2nd. Kentucky matched it in the bottom. RBI double for Peyton Plotz. Winner comes back and plays tomorrow at noon. The loser would be in the elimination bracket playing at 2:30 and then possibly at 5 o'clock tomorrow. You lose this first game, basically you have to win 2 doubleheaders the next 2 days.
It's time to camp out at the park when that happens.
Start recruiting pitchers. Hey, when was the last time you pitched?
1-2 from Durkowski. She has now pitched the last 28 innings for Michigan. Opponents barely hitting above 200. She's only given up 6 earned runs in those 26 innings over a 5-game stretch. Back on the grass to make the catch is Indy Langford. 1 down.
It's a great job by Langford. Really good footwork going back into right field. I like the way that these fielders go back, because you can see that Stevenson is deep in right field, knowing that Langford is going to have to go get that ball. Otherwise, it drops in. That's a really good catch. As a pitcher, when you have the ability to have your middles go back hard and catch anything shallow on the green, it makes a big difference.
Riley Smith struck out on a rise ball in the first. Top 3 in the order all struck out their first time up. That wide open stance. Another fly ball. Conway, 2 down.
Batting the shortstop, number 21.
Had a good long at-bat, saw a lot of pitches, and then got fooled on what we think we've identified as a low rise ball that she wasn't expecting, caught looking.
Biggest thing was inside. She'd been doing a lot of that. Kind of, you'll see her lean, looking a little middle away. And I'll tell you what, Durkowski's going right after her. And you got to realize she has not seen this many strikes. Watching her the last few weeks, a ton of walks, a ton of pitches outside of the zone. It's almost caught off guard. And taking a lot of pitches that are over the middle of the plate.
That's why folks are very careful with her.
Yeah, This is why they don't give her a lot of strikes, and rarely she is one of the best to ever play in Kentucky. And you look at her career records, all of the big numbers. And that's actually what they were talking about. She's struggled the last month because she's been starting to chase, almost doubled her chase rate, going after pitches out of the zone, trying to make something happen as a senior.
Wow, got her twice, looking both times.
Well, Bonnie Lauren-Nikoski, you talked about how competitive she is. 5 Ks already in this game, 2 big ones against their big hitter. What have you liked from her so far?
Well, I think she's attacking the K zone, and she's being her. She's not overthrowing, and she just missed one of her pitches, and it did hurt us, but this is going to be a game that's going to go beyond 1-1, obviously. We know that it's going to be close to 5-4 or something like that, so we're prepared for it, and we like what we're seeing from Dirk right now.
And Coach, your offense has made some great adjustments over the last second half of the season. Whatever adjustments would you like to see them make here in this game?
Well, actually, I think we're a little early on her. I'd like to see us get on time a little bit better, and then we'll really start squaring the ball up and driving the ball to the outfield. And so we'll make that little bit of adjustment. I think that we're a little keyed up right now, and just a minor adjustment, and we'll be right at it.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. We appreciate the time.
All right, thanks for being here.
All even at 1 apiece. So there you see the Michigan offense since March 2nd. Pow.
Yeah, no, that's been the increase, and just honestly the confidence, really buying into what they've talked about. She just said how they're a little bit early. One of the biggest things they were trying to do is really get barrels to ball, and to do that, trying to eliminate the lower half in practice. So a lot of the drills that they were doing was just isolating kind of the upper half, trying to get rid of that anti-rotational, hips starting to fly open. And you're actually seeing a little bit of that come back in this game because they know Schoonover is going to throw hard.
Yeah, she's been hitting in the mid to upper 60s. Drops it down to 43 on the off speed there. 0-1. It's Janisa Conway, 6, 7, and 8 coming up. This is the part of the lineup that got the run in the second after Conway led off with a walk, moved on a pair of pass balls, and then came in on the Costales RBI single.
Janice is one of those players, those freshmen that they're very excited about. Just pure athlete, has the power, has the speed, still very raw. You saw it just on the base paths. Good at bat to get on base, but getting to second and third on pass balls that really did not kick away from the catcher very far. Manufactured that first run.
Winners of the Big Ten Tournament Championship. They've won 17 of 19 heading into the postseason. Their best wins during the regular season, they beat Florida twice.
Once via run rule.
Yes. Nesby out in center. 1 down. Of course, last year they did not play in the NCAA tournament. That ended a streak of 27 years in a row for Michigan. They have been to the World Series 12 times, but it's been a while. Their last trip, even their last trip to the Super Regionals was 2016.
Number 20, Lily Ballamont.
As they try and work their way back into contention for a national championship, which they won back in 2005. And here sounded like one of her teammates saying, "Lily, find a way." Success for Schoonover that last inning, more of the rise ball and the off speed. She dropped from 43 pitches in the second inning to just 14 in the third.
She was like a completely different pitcher.
Yeah.
And going, and Smitty, you talked about this, just going to different pitches, going more up and down, over the plate instead of left to right, not getting those calls.
Well, it's important as a pitcher to figure out, like, really, how do you get those 21 outs? You know you're not going to strike everybody out. So this, but a lot of pitchers are fixated on the strikeout, and you shouldn't be. I mean, the 1- and 2-pitch pop-ups are rolling ground balls. Yeah, those are gifts from the softball gods. I say it all the time.
Well, the defense wants it too. When you got a 40-pitch inning, and there hasn't been a ball put in play, like you're just kind of, because every pitch you're ready, ball 1, ball 2, foul ball. So yeah, 2-pitch for an at-bat and a fly out or ground ball, then you're ready.
Missed it away, full count.
To note too, the new catcher behind the plate, Hallie Mitchell. Krista Hamilton struggled those couple pass balls. Been a big difference already. Smitty, I don't think it's a coincidence that Schoonover was also pitching better, knowing that she had more confidence in Mitchell's defense.
And just framing up, all of that makes such a difference in the battery.
Draws the 1-out walk. 4th today for Michigan.
Well, and that's where Schoonover at times can be a little inconsistent. Some of her pitches are so non-competitive, they're not even close to the zone, so the batters aren't even going to bite or chase at those.
Now batting the designated player, number 24, Ava Costales.
So Ava Costales, who drove in the run in the 2nd, will step up. She has their only hit with a runner on base, 1 for 6. Michigan has already stranded a pair in both the 1st and 2nd innings.
Pitch coming for Schoonover. I think a lot of times, too, it's the maturity of a pitcher, right? The best, most elite pitchers in the world throw balls that look like strikes, so you get hitters to chase those pitches, even though they're out of the zone. A ball that looks like a ball is a lot of times the sign of a young pitcher, where there's just no opportunity for that hitter to even go after that.
3-1 to Costales. Back-to-back free passes at the bottom of the order.
So there it is, the inconsistencies at times. The last couple games for Schoonover, she hasn't made it past the 4th inning. She's been...
The batting order have all walked in this game, including Ella McVeigh in the 2nd inning. And you just saw a couple of Wildcats heading out to the bullpen for Kentucky. Here's Janelle Lacqua. All these pinch runners, of course, in softball, you are allowed to re-enter once if you're lifted. There's a drive out to center, and drifting over is Nesby. 2 down, and here comes the top.
Ellie Sealers had some of the better at-bats, too, for this Michigan team. She had the base hit back in the 1st inning. She flew out to left, but a good swing that she put on the ball. Only 9 strikeouts, great bat-to-ball skills. Really good eye.
Bless you. Singled in the 1st, flew out to left in the 2nd. Another chance here for Michigan, try and grab the lead. Pull to the right side. And that'll side.
Hey, Rachel, we saw a great at-bats, contact from Peyton Plotz. What do you want to see from the rest of your offense against Durkowski?
Well, we've been a little late on everything. That's why we keep jamming up and, keeping it in the infield or, striking out. So we really need to do a better job getting on time with her. I think we're late. We can't get our swing off. And we need to, hopefully, this time through, we'll be able to get it.
And Coach Schoonover approaching, or actually over about 100 pitches. What adjustments would you like to see her make as this game continues with her pitch count rising?
Well, she's just going too deep in counts. We got to get ahead a little bit earlier, mix a little bit differently. They're putting people on, and that's not helping. So we got to make sure that we attack them early, keep them off base with our defense, and then just see what happens.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Michigan a run in the top of the second. Kentucky matched it in the bottom of the second. Heart of the order coming back around for the second time now for Kentucky. It's 3-4-5 due up.
Now batting for Kentucky, the center fielder, number 11, Vanessa Nesby.
Vanessa Nesby struck out back in the first.
She saw all outside, too. Everything on the corner of the outside part of the plate or off the plate.
Drops it down. Good bunt. And the throw in time. Kiki Thole got there to make the play over to Elakwa, the new second baseman, one down.
I don't know if they're going to take a look. Nesby's not moving from first base.
And they will call for the review. Call on the field is an out at first base.
This is a really good bunt, too. Anytime you're bringing it down the first baseline, but look at Kiki Thole just all over. As soon as she saw her hands come, nice stretch attempt, two by Langford.
Ooh, wow.
I think they get her. The interesting part of the stretch from Langford is she's stretching with the wrong foot. If she could have switched her feet, she would have gotten it a little bit sooner.
That is close. Again, they need evidence to
overturn.
prove that she beat it
Ooh.
to overturn this.
Oh. I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn it.
Reviews are being handled out of Pittsburgh for
That's
this
the look right there.
NCAA tournament. Coaches get 2 challenges.
So let's see, right there.
Is
Looks
her
like
foot on it?
on the bag, yeah.
They might
I think
reverse
they
this
might
one.
reverse this one, yeah.
The cleat's there.
And that's the new second baseman coming in.
Yeah.
And I think she's a little late to the bag. To your point, Jess, if she was earlier to the bag,
She could have
you could have stretched in a different direction.
She's still stretched, but I think she was stretching to get to the bag more than to the ball.
All right, we're saying they're going to change this one. Let's see if the umpires agree and the review officials agree. Call on the field was out at first base. Rachel going over to talk with Jen Brundage, the Michigan assistant, probably telling her that, in the SEC, we've got this great replay system that they actually go back to a central review in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's super fast.
Like, super fast.
Yeah. Rachel's also saying, I hope maybe next year everybody goes to that system because it keeps the game moving along.
You read lips so well.
I
That
do.
was perfect.
I do. The officials, the umpires have headsets, so they don't even need to leave the field. Yeah. Let's see how it goes.
After further review, the call at first base is upheld. The runner is out.
Okay.
Not enough to overturn it.
So one down as Nesby is retired, and Kentucky does not win that challenge. They'll have another one, and then once we get into the 6th inning, umpires can call for their own review as well if they'd like. Here's Grace Lorsong, a walk, and then her pinch runner came in to score. Both runs that made it home started out with walks in today's game. Well struck, and that one will leave the yard. Home run, Grace Lorsong to give Kentucky the lead.
That's the 14th home run of the season for number 33, Grace Lorsong.
Well, there's a reason why she leads this Kentucky team now with home runs. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful swing. A lot of times we talk about chasing the pitch up in the zone to meet it and hit it hard. This one was down in the zone, and the reason why I love her swing so good on this is watch her drop the barrel, get down to this low inside pitch. She knows it immediately. You guys, that was like 40 yards past the wall. Good luck finding that one.
Way out, maybe even across the street.
Well, and it's interesting because both of the hits that Dorkowski's given up, she's been ahead in the count on, so a little bit too close to the zone. Pitches that maybe need to be more on the edges.
14th of the season for Grace. That one almost came into the press box. Foul ball. 9 of her last 14 knocks now have been for extra bases.
Rachel Lawson talked about how much she just craves pressure. She wants postseason. She wants big at-bats. That's why they have her in that cleanup hole. Be a big RBI producer for this team, but most importantly, do it when the pressure's the highest. We talked about this on the Michigan side, but the improvement and the power of this Kentucky offense.
Popped up, Thole calling for it and doesn't get there.
I think it might have been a little bit of a sun ball. You can see the way she kind of pulls her head down.
They've got the visors, they've got the eye black. Center field, the only spot that they're wearing the sunglasses today. Looks like center and left have them on.
Yeah, it's a ball that can't be dropped.
Or at least you have to figure out a way to shield the sun, right?
Outfielders are a lot smarter, so I get it. They're prepared.
2-2 pitch.
Oh,
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Dorkowski, 2 down.
Dorkowski coming back using that changeup, using it effectively, lower in the zone. See the way she tucks that knuckle and gets that ball to just slide down from low to lower. Hutchins chases it down out of the zone.
Number 10, Jenna Blanton.
Here's Peyton Plotz, had the RBI double in that second inning. Grace Lorsong with the home run to put Kentucky in front here in the 4th, 2-1.
33rd home run that Michigan has given up.
That's actually Jenna Blanton at the plate. Came on as a pinch runner and stayed in the game. The junior out of Chapel Hill, Tennessee.
found it interesting too because the hardest hit ball till that home run was Peyton Plotz, who she's hitting for. I know she came in to pinch run and then I saw her in defensively, but I was surprised that she came up here just because she's more short game, and Plotz with a beautiful swing off the wall. See, the home run ball finally got tracked down in the forest.
Waits on that off speed, but not quite long enough. Another foul ball there. Look back in from the left field line. Here at Cowgirl Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Stillwater Regional, our opening day double elimination. If you keep winning, you only need to play once today, once tomorrow, once Sunday to advance to the Supers.
Well, and that's really the key. You know, all these clubs talk about 10 wins. Just got to win 10 in a row to get that natty.
10-0 is the easiest road. 3 this weekend, 2 next weekend in the Supers, and then you go 5-0 at the World Series. Toughest road would be to go 12-4. So, as you would imagine, that's 6 more games to play in a 3-week stretch.
Battle for Jenna Blanton. Off the bench.
Nice rest here too for their pitcher Schoonover if she stays in the ball game. Over 100 pitches already. Two and two. Another 10-pitch at bat. And gets hit.
You can hear how loud that Kentucky dugout is too, getting fired up. And this is, you know, what it's about. When you've only got a couple hits in the game, you need base runners to keep this going right off the elbow. Elbow guard.
26th hit batter of the year for Durkowski.
So here's the new catcher, Hallie Mitchell. Just her 24th at-bat of the season. Hitting .217 for the junior out of Forsyth, Illinois.
Hallie Mitchell.
She did have a hit against Ole Miss in their short stay at the SEC tournament.
She's only had 5 at-bats in the last month. So coming into this, 2 for 5 in that last month. Done well with the opportunities she's had. Jennifer Brundage, the pitching coach. By the way, I just got a note. How cool is it that Michigan has...
At Michigan.
Changeup has worked so well for Durkowski. I know we've said it a bunch, but she should be throwing about 40% of the time, at least against Kentucky, because they're not seeing it. There it is, back to back. Okay. I have, you know, it's PitchCom, and I have one up here.
You're reading those?
Yeah, she's reading it. Actually, no, she's got the armband. I gave her the sign.
And another one. Smoke upstairs, mid-60s. One run already in on the Grace Lorsung home run. Blanton down at first base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And a strikeout for Durkowski, number 7.
Bottom of the 4th for the Wildcats.
7 innings live on your app. Opening day around the country. Already seeing some really good stuff. Florida, the first seeded team with a final. They got a shutout win over Florida Gulf Coast.
Oh, Auburn came back on Central Florida.
Yeah. The overall 3 seed Tennessee is shutting out Dayton right now. LSU on top of Jackson State. Georgia Bulldogs out in front, and the overall #1 seed Texas has gone up 2-0 on Siena in the second inning. One of the surprises so far, how about the Salukis of Southern Illinois getting the win over the Cal Bears earlier today. Lawson with a nice play at third base. Retires Langford 1 down.
It's been a hot corner over there for Lorsong. In fact, all of Langford's outs have been right to her. She's up in her grill. She sees that slap. Good reacts.
Here's Maddie Erickson. Still to come later today, Alabama in action. So is Florida State. We've got Oklahoma State, Northern Colorado right here. Nigeria, Kennedy, and Stanford will be on ESPN2 later tonight. And Oklahoma opens up tonight on ESPNU against Cleveland State, gunning for that 4th straight national championship. Erickson, deep in the hole at short. Long throw for Koffel, won't get there in time. Infield hit for Maddie.
That's a typical Erin Koffel play, though, at shortstop. You've seen her make those since her freshman year, going deep into that 5-6 hole. See the way she gloves this up. That's just a long throw to get across the infield. Good job by Erickson to leg this out from that right side of the dish.
How about in the air, she made it no hops. I mean, she was in the air going towards the line, Koffel, to be able to get the heat on that throw.
Fifth runner at first base, number 17, Lexi
Is one of the next bunch to go pro. She'll be playing with Athletes Unlimited this summer as Lexi Delamonica is on to pinch run. That's the tying run now aboard for the Wolverines and their #4 hitter, Kiki Thole. Walked in the first, flew out to center in the third. Got under it again. Infield pop-up, 2 down.
On Thole, you could tell that she's been adjusting on and off the dish, and she had come off just a little bit. And look at the way she's going to step open with that front foot just a little bit. The hips are triggering early, Jess. Some of the stuff we've been talking about spinning off that ball.
Yeah, that rotational movement coming back. And Bonnie told us in our interview with her that everyone's just kind of out in front, and it starts with that front hip triggering, especially with their bigger hitters.
When you play into a pitcher's hands, when you start to spin, right, you're early. And it's funny, this is the ironic part of fast pitch softball, is that when you get too early, your swing typically gets long, right? Your barrel starts to move away from your body. You're almost better off just being late and being reactionary and shooting the ball the opposite way.
Or one of the things that Michigan really worked hard on was, let's eliminate the lower half so that we're not early with our lower and late with our top, and just get barrels to the ball.
It's always physics, right? So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if your hips go early, it usually sends your hands away from your body, which makes your swing longer, which makes you slower. It's the ironic part of softball, which is so frustrating.
Stevenson gets a hold of one. Back it goes and gone. Ella Stevenson, 2-run home run, and that puts Michigan out in front.
That's the 4th home run of the season for number 25, Ella Stevenson.
Well, it was the senior on one side, and how about the young Froshy? Bonnie told us how she just doesn't get frazzled in big moments. And this is a pitch elevated up in the zone. We were talking about the hips to the hands. Well, this was perfect timing. Those hips triggered, the hands followed, and that's the kind of pitch that you know is going to go a long way. Left that up in the strike zone.
Number 13, Janisa Conoway.
We also said, too, with Maddie Erickson and Kiki Thole being the big hitters, that Ella Stevenson was going to need to step up.
And Conway gets hit by a pitch, so a 2-out base runner. Just the 4th of the season for Stevenson. The 2-run dinger has Michigan in front. Ooh, that hit the knob of the bat.
Almost looked like it hit the knob.
Get away with one right there.
Now batting the catcher, number 20.
No
Lily
challenge from Kentucky. Alexia Lacatana is out in that bullpen. As you see the pitch count now, next one's 120 for Schoonover here in the 5th.
Well, I think the biggest thing too, yes, the amount of pitches she's thrown, but how about the amount of pitches per plate appearance? So each hitter has seen an average of 4 to 6 pitches every time they've come up, and we're now 3 times through the order.
They're not having fun.
That's got them dancing. A 15-win improvement from last year to this year for Michigan. And power is the big reason why. The most home runs they've hit in 8 years, more than doubling their output from a year ago. And Stevenson adding to that tally here today. Out into shallow right center, and drifting back is Tobias to make the catch. But Michigan jumps in front here in the 5th. 8-2 off the bat of Ella Stevenson. And the freshman with the biggest hit of her career, and Margaret Tobias counters with a single to lead off the 5th. 8-9, and then the top here for the Cats. Lauren Borzolari.
Now batting the first baseman, number 88, Lauren Borzolari.
Popped up to second base back in the 3rd inning. Second game of our doubleheader is the home team, the 5 seed in this year's NCAA tournament, Oklahoma State, facing Northern Colorado. The Bears out of the Big Sky, champs for the 2nd year in a row. Double elimination format. Winners face off tomorrow, high noon Central. Short game to move the runner over, and they'll put it in the hands of the top of their order. And the top 3 need a change of fortunes. They are 0 for 6. Smith, Koffel, and Nesby so far in the game.
Yeah, with 4 strikeouts between the 3 of them.
3rd time, though, they'll see Durkowski.
Well, it's been the reverse for Kentucky. We talk about Michigan hitters being out in front. Kentucky has been late. Rachel Lawson talked about the conversation trying to get that barrel out. They've been getting jammed. Durkowski doing a nice job getting in on the hands.
Durkowski backhanded. Oh, they had the runner hung up between 2nd and 3rd, but she chooses to get the out at 1st. 2 down. Looked like she turned and may have panicked a little bit instead of running right at the base runner.
Yeah, she could have gone and gotten her, but then Caesar's heading back to 2nd, goes to 1st to get the out. Very fortunate that she was able to get the out with Riley Smith with her speed.
And they will walk Erin Koffel with first base open and take their chances with Vanessa Nesby. So that after they struck her out twice looking, they play the odds here. And the idea, don't let the best bat beat you. Third time with a couple of strikeouts in a game. 2nd time in the last couple of weeks.
Tennessee got her a couple times.
And for Erin Koffel, her 47th walk of the season.
Well, I think, too, the biggest thing going against Nesby, she only has 2 extra base hits all year long, so not a lot of power, more infield hits.
And she's also just 1 for her last 15. Strikeout and a ground out today. Kentucky was able to answer Michigan in the 2nd, trying to do it again here in the 5th.
Well, I think this is a situation that makes you wonder why you have Nesby behind Koffel. You normally put power behind power.
Which is a big reason why we talked about all the walks to Koffel throughout the season, getting nothing to hit. It's because, well, who's on deck? Grace Lorson she's on deck now, but she's the home run hitter in this game. It's an interesting 3-hole hitter.
And that will drop and a run will score. Nesby comes through to drive one in. A little flare out to left, but good enough to get Tobias home.
Well, this is just perfect placement too for Nesby. Low outside pitch. She gets it off the end of the bat and it finds grass. Now, Ellie Sealer, I think, could have caught this ball if she just straight dove, but it would have had to have been an incredible play. Ends up getting by her. Good backup by Janisa Conway to not allow that to be extra base hit.
With 2 outs, Tobias was on the run and comes in to score, even at 3 apiece, and now the go-ahead run at third base for Kentucky. And they'll choose to walk Grace Lorsong, who hit the home run her last time up. And instead, pitch to Allie Hutchins. So 2 intentional walks in the inning here for Michigan. Kentucky made them pay once. Can they do it again? Hutchins, a sacrifice, and then a strikeout. And again, for both of these teams who rely so heavily on their ace, you want to stay in that winner's bracket, so you only have to play once a day. You can come right back tomorrow and throw Durkowski or Schoonover.
And that is the right location. If she can consistently hit that up and in for a strike, that is such a hard pitch for Grace Lorsong to get to, especially knowing the changeup is in her back pocket.
Bases loaded for Hutchins. 1 for 5 on the season. Chance for the Cats to bust it open here.
This is where Hutchins has to be very particular, not chasing pitches out of the zone with the bases loaded. Trying to get something from Durkowski that's going to be hittable in the zone. Nowhere to put her. It's a great pitch. 2-2. And that's what you have to do as a pitcher. On the flip side, when it's bases loaded, you've got to have really good stuff, good movement through the zone.
They're just not seeing it either. I mean, you talked about it, 3rd time through the order. Not seeing the off speed out of the hand.
Two pitch. Got her to chase the rise out of the zone, and Kentucky leaves them loaded.
Athletes Unlimited.
Lexi Kilfoyle, possibly the starting pitcher in our second game tonight for Oklahoma State, the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. Gonna be there.
Everyone's excited to see Jocelyn Allo.
Ava Costales has re-entered. RBI single in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, was lifted for a pinch runner and is now back in there. 8-9 in the top coming up from Michigan. They've lost leads twice so far. After grabbing the lead in the 2nd, Kentucky tied it up. Grabbed the lead in the 5th, the Cats tied up again. And now into the 6th here in our opening game of the Stillwater Regional double elimination format. Opening day around the country. On the road to the Women's College World Series. There's a liner out to left. Costales having a really nice day. on board for the third time with a couple of hits and a walk.
Bonnie talked about that because it's kind of a flip the coin situation, almost a 50% chance who the DP is going to get between Ava and Avery. And Ava proven that the kind of feel that Bonnie Toll had about her, the power, and she's hit all of her hits pretty similarly, kind of getting around the outside pitch, driving it hard to the left side of the field.
Now batting the shortstop, number 32, Ella McVeigh.
Ella McVeigh in the 9 spot. Both these teams very adept at working the short game and dropping down the sacrifice bunts today.
Especially the right people. You know, you got your 9-hole, Ella McVeigh, just done a brilliant job of not just laying them down, but doing them good, like making them difficult plays. I love it.
Each side with 2 effective sacrifice bunts. Top of the order now, Ellie Sealer. 4th time around to face Schoonover as the pitch count approaches 130. Trying to drop that one over the head of the shortstop, Aaron Coughlin does. Not deep enough, though, for Costales to move.
Costales was kind of married to second base there. It's always a tough read at times, not knowing if a shortstop like Koffel is going to be able to catch this. You can see off the bat, it looks like it's going to get beyond her glove, but you know, that's just a freshman mistake in my opinion as a runner, and you could see that Schoonover is just like, ah. There's little flares they do as pitchers, they deflate you.
Well, because you beat the hitter.
Yeah.
So you're like, I won, but shows up as a hit.
But they won.
Second
But
single
yes, you're right.
of the inning. Another bunt to advance the runners from Langford to set up Maddie Erickson, the 3-hitter.
That one I'm a little more surprised with, just because now you're top of the order. Indiana Langford has had some really nice at-bats. But you got the big dogs up, hoping that they come through. And Maddie Erickson is hit to the left side all 3 times, one of them for infield single.
So now you're relying on Erickson or Thole behind her to get it done.
The percentages go way down with sacrifice bunts with 1 out versus no outs. But Bonnie Toll knows her team.
It would be interesting to know if that was truly a sacrifice or she did that on her own. And if you do it on your own, I think that's a situation as a coach. It's a learning lesson. Like, probably need you to hit away or try to hit the ball left side so you are advancing runners. It's always interesting.
To Erickson, so she'll take a moment with Bonnie. Erickson maybe the one that's benefited the most by the changes offensively. Her batting average up over 100 points from last year, has struck out half as much.
That's a great take. I know it looks way out of the zone, but that's been her weak spot, is the chase on the rise.
That was her first strike. Swung at a pitch really out of the zone.
Two and two. Schoonover just a couple of strikeouts, and both of those were early. Go ahead run at third base, Costales. Another one out there at second, Sealer.
think about how good Maddie Erickson's numbers are when she leads the team in pretty much every offensive category, but this is the benefit of Kiki Thole right behind her. Got to give her something to hit. Can't.
And the count goes full.
Erickson with the 11 home runs, Full with the 15 home runs. It is pick your poison when it comes to power with those two.
This is where I feel like Schoonover just hasn't had a great off speed that she's used consistently. And now that we're seeing 4th time through the order, able to foul off a lot of pitches.
There's the outbreak down. Erickson, and that one, not a reach.
Heck of an at bat. That was in on the hands too. And we've seen Erickson kind of lean to foul off some of those away pitches. So for her to even get to the inside, even though she got jammed, but enough to get it into the stands.
Tenth pitch of this at bat for Maddie Erickson. Fly ball out to left. Riley Smith is there, and the side is retired. Schoonover strands a pair, still even at 3.
Now batting for Kentucky, number 37, Peyton Plotz.
Peyton Plotz will re-enter here and lead off the bottom of the 6. If the Cats can put one on the board, they're 3 outs away from the win.
Plotz had the double off the wall, her first at bat. Met that rise ball with like a 3/4 swing.
They brought in Jenna Blanton to hit for in the 4th. Jenna got hit by a pitch and got on base. And now back to Plotz, 2-0. 6, 7, and 8 coming up to face Lauren Durkowski, the MVP of last weekend's Big Ten tournament.
She threw a lot of pitches.
No one's thrown more in Division I.
In Division I this year.
And that's saying something. We've seen kind of the reemergence of the ace this year. Teams riding one pitcher.
Well, Schoonover might catch her tonight. She was 11th, and she's going to be pushing. She over 150? 142 is her count as Durkowski approaches 100. Ground ball to short. McVeigh gobbles that up. 1 down. Other seeded teams winning their opening games. Duke a winner over Morgan State and Durham. And the overall 3 seed, Tennessee, a winner over Dayton. So we're starting to get our first winners bracket matchups. Duke will play South Carolina tomorrow. Tennessee against Virginia tomorrow. So some neighbors getting together.
Well, this game's lived up to all the hype.
Yeah.
You get Kentucky, Michigan, big name schools.
Well, as soon as you saw Michigan as a 3 seed, oh, spicy.
That's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
One of 16 sites around the country. More of McVeigh at short. 2 down.
I think the biggest thing with Michigan too is that, you know, they kind of fell off the radar because of their start. You know, everyone wasn't thinking of them as a contending team. Came on strong at the end. What's at stake to be able to get to a super regional for both these programs. It's been a bit.
Number 12, Margaret Tobias.
That's what they're trying to get through this weekend, including the home team here, the 5 seed, Oklahoma State. One hit the bat twice. From Margaret Tobias.
She's in the box, which is key, so it hits the bat once. And again.
Got to watch that foot. She was called out in the first excuse me, the second inning. That foot being out of the box and on her crossover.
And singled and scored in the 5th. Opposite way, and for Durkowski and the Wolverines, a 1-2-3 inning back for the 2nd year in a row to take on the Pokes. And an Oklahoma State team that finished 3rd in the Big 12 behind Texas and Oklahoma. But they beat them both twice. Won both those series in the regular season over the Longhorns and the Sooners, the top 2 seeds in this NCAA tournament. Top 7, 4, 5, 6, Kiki Thole, Ella Stevenson, and Janisa Conway.
Being careful with Kiki. Kiki's power is all center left. Has 15 home runs, majority of them over center field and that left center gap.
Pops it up, and you hear Tobias saying, mine, mine, mine. 1 down, and here's what Ella Stevenson did her last time up with a runner on.
How about the freshman taking a pitch up in the zone and just driving it out of the yard? Her 4th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. Freshman hitting behind your big boppers, Erickson and Thole like that. It's a good day. Changeup is after falling behind her last at-bat 2-0 and then giving up the home run. Schoonover decides, I think we should mix speeds.
That's a pitch I want to see her get a little bit more to these Michigan hitters.
Here's the 0-2. 150th pitch of the day for Schoonover. Ball 1.
That's a nice adjustment too from the freshman. Is you think about her first at bat, she struck out on the rise ball. She's now laid off that pitch, trying to get the ball deeper in the zone so she can see it longer, than a good fly out and then the big home run. Now everything away.
Two. Ground ball, and it's through the legs of Schoonover. Stevenson safe at first.
Sometimes the ball off the end of the bat, just so difficult to field. Looks like she's gonna have it. She just pulls her glove up through the wickets. No opportunity for Tobias. By this time, it's just a slow developing play. Once it goes through your legs like that, you gotta stay down on it.
Now batting the center fielder, number 13.
Rule that an error.
Conway.
Go ahead run aboard for Michigan here in the 7th.
Janisa, yes. Taking a hack, and that's what you want. First pitch, find a pitch you like, take a big swing. After the big swing too, then she thinks about laying it down. trying to use kind of all aspects of her game. We've seen that's been Michigan's offense. We've seen the long ball, we've seen the short game. Very athletic team, diverse.
And 2 misses away. Swing and a miss. Gets the strikeout of Conway, her first since the 2nd inning for Schoonover.
Schoonover going to work that screwball away. And gets the big swing and miss. After the error, coming back for the strikeout. Showing some leadership.
So with 2 outs, here's Lily Valmont.
Schoonover, an excellent job now working the corners. We saw her struggle with that the first couple innings and go to the rise ball. Now, 4th time through the order, she's been using her screw and her curve.
And gets the strikeout back-to-back here. Potentially a super regional. Again, all the games are available on ESPN Plus, streaming there all weekend long. First pitch swinging is a foul ball off the bat of Lauren Borzelleri. 9, and then the top of the order, and a chance for Kentucky to win it. Had the lead briefly 2-1 in the 4th inning before Michigan jumped in front. And then Kentucky responded immediately in the bottom of the 5th.
It's kind of how the games went. It's one team scores, the other responds, and that's kind of what's needed. But with Kentucky being the home team, they get the final say.
Borzelleri out to shallow center, and an adjustment for Conway coming up to make the catch. So let's see what happens here with the top 2 hitters for Kentucky, Riley Smith and then Erin Koffel. They are 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and an intentional walk to Koffel in the 5th.
Number 19, Riley Smith.
Fourth time to see Durkowski. Smacked right down in front on the dirt, and Riley Smith is aboard, and the game winner on the bases for Kentucky. And Erin Koffel coming up.
How have they gotten the big cat out this game? She's the best hitter in this lineup. Done a nice job of coming in on the hands. Got her looking, her first at bat. Second at bat, how about the changeup? Beautifully placed. Durkowski has done a nice job attacking Erin Koffel. Gotten 2 strikeouts with her, both looking.
They intentionally walked her in the 5th, and then Vanessa Nesby came through with the RBI double to score the game-tying run.
The shortstop, number 21, Erin Koffel.
If you walk her or pitch around her here, you bump that game winner into scoring position.
Yeah, I think you still have to be very careful. It's 4th time through, seeing her, Erin Koffel can make adjustments. At some point, she's due.
Well, the biggest adjustment is swing. She's taken a lot of pitches, a lot of strikes, I should say.
And just out of the reach of Ella McVeigh, and a base hit for Koffel. 2 on with 1 out for Kentucky. A shoulder shrug. Hey, I'll take it, she says.
You know what? That's what you got to do, because Durkowski's done a nice job of being able to get in on the hands. And when you swing the bat, especially for Erin Koffel, she's so strong. Look, this is on the lowest part of the barrel of the bat. So strong, can push it into the outfield.
She's been good with that pitch today. Let Lorsong and Hutchins try to bash somebody in. And Michigan reading that, knowing that this is a very big sacrifice, or at some way move your teammate up so the corners are well in for Michigan.
Look at how shallow the outfield is too, way in.
She had that double that was dropped into left field.
0-1, high hopper, and a race to the bag at third, and they're going to get her. McVeigh smacks the base in front of Riley Smith, and a challenge immediately from Rachel Lawson out of the Kentucky dugout.
And this is where I don't know why you don't just sacrifice. You need something short to challenge the corners.
Third base, the call on the field is out. Play under review.
Anything hard is going to give the middles, is going to give the corners the ability to do this, to beat the runner to the bag. That's why you want to be short. That's why you sacrifice in these situations. That's an amazing play.
It's the only play they have, too. Because that is a base hit, by the way, Vanessa Nesby. If there's no runner, it's a force at third. That is perfectly placed when runners aren't in that position they're in. But McVeigh with the dive just in time. A great call.
Of their challenges today.
But in the bottom of the 7th, I get it. I mean, it's a bang-bang play.
Yeah,
you got to look at it.
After further review, the call at third base is upheld. The runner is out. This is Kentucky's second and final challenge.
So that's the second out of the inning. Koffel does move over to second base, so they still have a chance with a runner here in scoring position for the home run hitter, Grace Lorson.
Now batting the third baseman, number 33, Grace Lorson.
And are they going to intentionally walk her for the second time in a row? Yes, they are. Third time she's walked today. They did this in the 5th inning, and Allie Hutchins struck out to end the inning right after.
She's had 2 strikeouts, Allie Hutchins, who's on deck. So definitely a smart move by Michigan. Even though it brings that winning run 60 feet closer.
Bases loaded here for Kentucky with 2 outs. They only need 1 run to get in. So here we go for the Cats, looking for the walk-off. Allie Hutchins,
Now batting designated
the freshman out of
number 7,
Paducah.
Allie Hutchins.
Rises high, 1-0. The letters 1-1. Hutchins, by the way, is the one that had the walk-off hit to beat Stanford early in the season. 2-1.
That's been the best part of the pitch mix from Lauren Durkowski is the changeup away, using that inside pitch, back these Kentucky hitters off the plate.
Pops it up and off the glove and down for the Kentucky Wildcats. And they win it. Allie Hutchins with the walk-off to beat Michigan 4-3.
From the 7th, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. You left on your final score for game 1 of this regional.
That that was the risk in walking. Grace Lorsong is getting a runner 60 feet close.
Dorkowski. And again, for both of these teams who rely so heavily on their ace, you want to stay in that winner's bracket, so you only have to play once a day. You can come right back tomorrow and throw Dorkowski or Schoonover.
And that is the right location. If she can consistently hit that up and in for a strike, that is such a hard pitch for Grace Lorsung to get to, especially knowing the changeup is in her back pocket.
Bases loaded for Hutchins. 1 for 5 on the season. Chance for the Cats to bust it open here.
This is where Hutchins has to be very particular, not chasing pitches out of the zone with the bases loaded. Trying to get something from Dorkowski that's going to be hittable in the zone. Nowhere to put her. It's a great pitch. 2-2. And that's what you have to do as a pitcher on the flip side. When it's bases loaded, you've got to have really good stuff, good movement through the zone.
They're just not seeing it either. I mean, you talked about it, third time through the order. Not seeing the off speed out of the hand.
2-2 pitch. Got her to chase the rise out of the zone, and Kentucky leaves them loaded.